Hi, I'm Jordan White. I'm the founder and organizer of Street Pass NYC, and I'm making this really grainy, hopefully short YouTube video for two reasons. One, I want to apologize that during the Wii U unveiling on September 13th, which I was at, that I could not get Twitch TV to work properly. There were so many problems with all the Wi-Fi signals in the area, and there were so many problems with uh, cell phone service. Even my Samsung Galaxy S3 with 4G on it could not break through the signaling no matter what service you had. That's why everyone did not do any sort of live streaming of demos at the actual conference. And those were bigger companies, never mind me. So I apologize for that. So I'm making this video as a makeup to kind of report what I saw. So unfortunately, I don't have any gaming footage from that event. I'm sure everyone else can see all sorts of gaming footage, but I want to show you and tell you my impressions of what I saw there. So like I said, previously I was at the Wii U experience, which was really fun, and then I got invited to the Wii U unveiling on the 13th. So it was really nice. The building that they have real quick was really well done. They had a bunch of coffee. We all had free lunch. It went on for a long time, so I pretty much tried almost every game there. I think I only missed out on two because of how long the lines were. But I got to see everything, and so I thought I'd go down the list of something. So right off the bat, before I get into this game, so the first one that I played, I was really surprised. There were some games that I thought were just going to be simple, we'll just burn it on the disc and put it out there, and we'll put some stupid thing on the pad that will be just like a map or something. I was surprised that so many of those games they ended up doing things with the gamepad that I would never thought of, and I thought were very interesting and actually improved the experience for me. The first game I actually got to play was Sonic All-Star Racing Transforms, possibly the biggest word jumble name, right next to something that Tetsuo Nomura will come up with Final Fantasy. The game played really well, although, and they swore up and down, left and right, that this was the demo and that the final burnt gold retail version will not have this. There was some sort of a frame stutter on the demo, and their theory is that it's the problem we've heard of where if you don't sync the TV with the code of the game, 60 frames a second, the pad did upload faster than the TV, and the TV would just go insane. So, it wasn't the worst experience, but I really hope that fixed for the final retail. Either way, it looked very much like what you would see on 360 or PC with that game. You had a map below, played Mario Kart 7. It plays very much like that. Same controls. Supposedly Sumo loves playing Mario Kart 7 over and over again. And there was a very interesting feature with the pad that I don't know if anyone was talking about on the floor, where he held the gamepad up to the TV. The screen would show you exactly what you saw on the TV, but there would be this window cut out on the gamepad where it was a rear view mirror behind you, and it had crosshairs. And so if you had items, you could use the gyroscope to aim at the vehicles behind you and launch the item backwards. I actually did that in a race where I was riding on the Samade Amigo course. The crazy taxi guy who had to be the hardest AI in that demo was trying to pass me, and I had a rocket, and I quickly held it up, aimed at him with the rocket, and it shot him straight off the stage. So he lost back two places, and I got number one. I was like, take that for trying to sneak up on me. I wish I could do that in New York while driving. So that was actually really fun. I'm totally going to get that game at launch unless EA announces Need for Speed Most Wanted at launch, which if they haven't, it's totally this game, especially if they fix the screen flicker. And then to get this out of the way, a game probably the most surprising game that was really fun was NBA 2K13. I'm a fan of the WNBA. I don't follow NBA and I don't really follow basketball as a sport intensely. The guy just kind of said, "Hey, do you want to play this?" And I said, "I don't really play these games, but I'll try it, because I'm here. I mean, who gets to come to the Wii U unveiling experience? So gives me the pad, and it's the same thing on the screen. I'm playing it, and I can issue commands to the players on the screen, which was in the demo. And then when I held it up, like with the Sonic game, the screen all of a sudden went into like Predator mode, where like everyone had like heat signatures and everything, and I was like, "Whoa, what the heck is this?" And the guy came out to the signs like, "Oh yeah, that's a feature we forgot to mention in our PR. It's called BUT mode. Basically, you see an infrared view of the same thing you see on TV. and the hotter the player is, the more alert they are, and the dimmer it gets as they play, the more weak and unfocused they are. So it actually really changed the gameplay for me because you can find out who are the weakest link on your opponent's team and just harass those players for the ball. And I can figure out who's getting fatigued on my team and put them on the bench and bring them back on, which I have not really seen done in a basketball game, even though it's part of the sport. And so that really changed the dynamic of how I thought of a basketball would play in a video game. And so I was really shocked that one tiny thing that, honestly, when he explained to me, I thought sounded really stupid, really changed the entire game. So that was really amazing. Guess I'm gonna have to blow these real quick to the time. Darkstalkers 2, sorry, I wish it was Darkstalkers. Darksiders 2 looked very much like it was on Xbox 360. Besides the loot changing stuff, there wasn't really anything going crazy with the pad. In fact, you could actually, well, here's something very interesting. The Wii U's HD is not simulated; it's all native, so you can actually visually tell which games are direct Xbox 360 ports and which games are built from the ground up. So like Rayman Legends and Zombie U and Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which I'll get into in a minute, look insanely sharp, especially on HD TVs that they had there. And then like other games like Darksiders 2, you could tell it was 360 and it was actually horror for it. So for the people out there with the graphics, while it's not going to be PS2 to PS3 type of jump, as someone who works in graphics a lot, especially on the PC side, I'm a big PC gamer, I noticed a big jump in the resolution and the fidelity in the graphics. So I think that's going to be a good thing if that's the type of hardware support, hardware functionality of the GPU and CPU we're going to see in the future with games. Um, because basically Nintendo Land, I played it before. It's a lot of fun. They mainly had the Pikmin game, the Mario Chase, and the Metroid game, as well as Balloon Rush. Metroid really stood out because that game is really deep and it's surprisingly hard, especially with the Space Pirates, because they actually actively dodge your blasts and work as teams and coverage. When you're thinking that this is going to be the next Wii Sports, it's like that really took me by surprise. It was really more of a gamer thing. And Mario Chase was the most popular game I tried. I played that with Kevin Cassidy over at Go Nintendo, and he caught me. I was on the pad, and then I caught him. So we're totally gonna rematch with that. Like I can totally see at parties really breaking out Nintendo Land because it was truly a ton of fun. Like you really have to play it to get the concept of the asymmetrical gameplay. To get asymmetrical gameplay, Rayman Legends, I got to play that pump it up music level. Enough said, that game looks gorgeous. In fact, it looks so HD on the TV that if I stare at my character long enough, my eyes start to wig out and everything else starts blurring. So I think if your eyes start to melt if you're playing this game, that's a good indication of the graphic fidelity. Tekken Tag 2 was a lot of fun. It looks exactly like the PS3 version. Got confirmed it has all the same features as the PS3 version, including the Tekken tunes. Of course, the unique modes like the mushroom mode. It actually changed a lot of the game because since there's items around the stage, uh, you're now actually really focused on where you're positioned in the fight. So you're like trying to push people in the poison mushrooms, and you're like, do I want to jump forward and get those 5 hits, or do I risk flipping back for my opponent to hit me and get the super mushrooms so I can be powerful enough to knock him out in one hit? And suppose there's gonna be other crazy modes like that plus the costumes, so that should be fun. Zombie U was also really amazing. They said it was the near final build that basically in a week or two they're gonna burn it onto the disc as gold, and it looks really beautiful. Like filming off camera does not do justice. The supposed bull shots that were on the internet, that's pretty much what the game looks like. Lighting I've never seen on any of the HD twins, textures I've never seen on the HD twins, and from me playing it in the past, it's really a lot of fun. Like to me, this is a huge Resident Evil fan. It really pains me to say that I really do feel like Zombie U is what Resident Evil 6 would have been if I actually got to make Resident Evil 6 as a giant Resident Evil fan. And of course, I guess to shoehorn in, because I don't know how much time we have left, is Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I got confirmed that it is the PC textures and models running on it. So basically, it's a slightly lower res version of the PC version, because obviously you have a PC with 16 cores and like 2 billion meg, terabytes of RAM. Obviously, it's gonna smoke the Wii U, but it looked really good, especially in HD. And doing the kill strikes on the screen, you can play through the pad itself. Um, it was a lot of fun. I actually played more through the pad than on TV. I kept forgetting that it was on the TV and stuff. I was like, "Ugh," and then like 10 minutes into it, I was like, oh yeah, it's playing on the TV, and you have your options on there. You have all your options on there. Your perks, the map, because you only have a very small map on the TV, so having that huge map is huge. Out of all these games, and especially Black Ops 2, I've had so many people I've heard on the internet, and particularly NeoGaf, complain about switching back between the pad and the TV. Is that a problem? I never encountered that in Black Ops 2, and in Black Ops 2 there was just grenades and bullets whizzing by everywhere. I think it was like 2 players and 20 bots in that game set to high. So I never had a problem going from the screen. Plus, if I looked at the screen, I don't know. I think I touched with the pad. It would be really cool if they used the camera so it could tell when you're looking down. But every time I end up looking at the pad, anyhow, I can instantly switch to see what was going on the TV. So that was one way to alleviate from looking at the pad to looking at the TV. And I think in the background of the map, you sort of see a mirror of what you see on the TV. So it's not very jarring. I've never had any issues. I never like looked at the pad and then looked up and then realized I was dead. That never happened. I play a lot of Call of Duty games on PC and Wii U, and I actually told them that I own World at War and Black Ops on my Wii, as well as my PC, and I really loved the Wii version a lot. And they basically said that, Activision at the time didn't really care about the Wii. They thought the Wii was awesome, so they put a lot of hard work within it. And so when they got Black Ops 2 on Wii U, their thought was, this is the love letter to all those Wii owners that that own their version of the game. Like, this is like, you're welcome. Thank you for buying our games. Here's your reward. And they said this themselves, what they consider their best work, and they'd rather have you buy the Wii U one than the 360 one. And that wasn't PR speak. These were like the lead game designers saying that. So I really appreciate that. And it's all the same modes that you get on the Xbox 360 version, and zombies are on there. And I also got confirmed that it is, and they showed it was 1080p, not blown up from 720p. It's 1080p, 60 frames a second, and supposedly that 60 frames does not dip online unless you truly have a horrible, like, 56k modem type connection. So that was really good to me. The Black Ops 2 was like the steal of the show. And the other big steal of the show for me, before I get to a few minor games and then my final thoughts on this, was Nintendo TV. I know a lot of gamers sadly fell asleep during the Nintendo TV because they're like, oh, some non-gaming application that I don't really care for, but they had a demo of it there, and after trying it and sitting down with the guy who invented it for 20 minutes of him talking about it and the Nintendo Network and how they work together, it was truly amazing to see what they made. Basically, what it is if you live in Canada, America, or Mexico, every single video service you could ever own online or on cable is on Nintendo TV. They told me that it's going to come with 70 different programs. So you have your Netflix, your Hulu, your Amazon viewing, your YouTube. It has social connections with Facebook and Twitter. So while you're watching Breaking Bad, they'll search for other people tweeting about it, and you put your own tweets in. It can take screenshots of the TV show or your face reactions during the show, and you can send those to Facebook with comments. So it's a it makes TV like social, even if you're just sitting watching TV by yourself. And I mean, I do that with my PC anyhow, so it'd be great everything to go through one system. And that's really what it is. It's the convenience. I have a billion subscriptions to all sorts of video services. To have them all under one roof, it's great. You have TiVo service right on there. From my understanding, if you hook up a USB storage unit, it will burn it right there. If you already have a DVR, it'll actually use the infrared port on the Wii U gamepad to directly make the DVR its bitch, and the Wii U will control it even remotely. So you can set your DVR to when you should record, and the Wii U will tell it to record it then. You come back, or you can use the Wii U itself. And the most impressive thing for me is you call up your cable company, like I can call up Comcast and say, I own a Wii U, and here's my account information. And then they tell you a 6-digit code number, and you put that code in, and your Wii U is now your cable box. You do not have to get any cable box or hardware. It goes right through the internet. That cable service, all your channels and all your instant viewing and on demand of those services. So that having all that under one roof with that functionality is really impressive. The touchscreen meal is really cool. The guy told me that they're working on putting Kinect voice like controls in there, so eventually you won't even have to use a touchscreen. You could just say stuff like, Wii U do this, or I think you can even name your own system. So it's like Reggie, you do this, and it will do it. And they also told me that they're going to be putting their own unique programs on there, kind of like what they do right now with Nintendo Show 3D and what they did with Nintendo Week, and that they're also actively looking into gamer channels such as G4 and game trailers and machinima and stuff. To put that content on there so that gamers have their own TV viewing. And so I personally like that's my mom's idea. Also, by the way, you can apparently you can do it. You can have the image on TV or the gamepad, and you can put one image on the TV, one movie or whatever video, and something completely different on the gamepad. Between my mom and I, we have one huge HD TV, and that's going to be a huge thing for us. We each watch our own shows. And they said that due to a streaming feature, there's only two problems. One is live TV can only be on the TV. You can't put it on the pad. They're going to try to correct that after it comes out. They anything that's DVR recorded or on demand, you can put it on the TV screen or the pad. And the other problem they said is they don't have a thing where someone's playing a game and then they can watch a show on the pad, or someone is watching a show and then they can watch it on the pad. But that's something that they are really, really hard at work on, and to them, that's their holy grail. So it's nice to know that we're going to have that sort of future where my mom can watch Two and a Half Men, and I can be playing, the next Zelda on the pad, and it's running off the same Wii U hardware. So that's fantastic. I also got confirmation from the same guy that works with the Nintendo Network, and I was like crying during this as he said, "Yeah, Nintendo Network. I can tell you it right now. No friends codes, username, password system, 12 accounts per Wii system. It's going to have their own. It's going to have their own achievements. They're going to be called accomplishments. They're system wide, but it's up to developers if they want to implement them. They're going to have sales in which, like, for 1 week, like New Super Mario Bros. U will be 50% off digitally. They're going to have a DLC support day one, patch support pay one. Developers don't have to pay Nintendo to upgrade their stuff. They only take out 5 to 8% of the profits, and developers get to pocket everything else. There's no restrictions on it. Cross game chat, so supposedly we can be playing two different games and we can talk amongst each other. Cross video chat, provided that you suspend the game. Comments between them. Basically, they said he ended that whole thing where he said, "Do you like Steam?" And I said, "Yeah." And we traded Steam accounts, and he said, "We love Steam. Basically, every function you see on Steam is a function on Nintendo Network. Like the exact way Valve runs Steam is the way they're going to run Nintendo Network." And he also jokingly says that, yeah, unbeknownst to people, we do listen to our fans. It just takes a new hardware revision for them to improve any mistakes they made. So it's very nice to know that they're really looking for that. So anyhow, quickly back to games. Real quick, Ninja Gaiden 3, they had Ayami playable. She's kind of like a more casual mode. The game is not any less difficult. I died 4 times with her before I beat the actual demo. But her playstyle is she charges up real fast, and she's really zippy and combo oriented. It takes a lot of hits for her to kill enemies. So she kind of like, if you are a fan of like Devil May Cry 3 or Bayonetta, Ayame is, and I hope I pronounced that right, Ayame is the character playstyle for you, but the game is still ridiculously as hard, and the Ryu portion of the demo, I played all the Ninja Gaiden games. I particularly have fond memories of Ninja Gaiden Black on my Xbox, and no one, including me, could get past that first screen with the first 12 enemies on it. And that was later in the game. And I've already played the demo where it's earlier in the game at the Wii U experience, and I died like about 8, 10 times before I finished that demo. So, yeah, this is anyone who owned the 360 or PS3 version of that game are going to be kicking themselves that they bought that one, because this is the one that they should have gotten. It's the real hardcore experience. And I guess there's two things, and this is one of them. One of the last things I'm going to talk about is New Super Mario Bros. U. I got confirmed you can play it completely on the pad. I got to try that mode. It was really fun. They mainly had the Boost Rush mode in there, and let me tell you this. If you think the Coin Rush mode is stupid, insanely hard, you love it, but it's difficult, and it makes you sound like you have Tourette's, and you're just cursing and kicking your dog, and it's just hard. Because every person I've met thinks it's like that. It's really hard to do. Boost Rush mode is like if Demon Souls developers made a Mario mode. It is hard. I was playing it with Isaiah Triforce Johnson, the famous speedrunner who can like run through Mario in his sleep. He died a lot. I died even more so. Like this is hard, especially once you fill it up completely. It scrolls as fast as one of those old Genesis Mario games. It's really hard to do. Like, you have to be really like this is a true test of your platforming. I also got confirmed with that there's Blue Rush mode that comes in packets, and then there's other blank packets, and according to the reps, that will be downloadable content. I don't know if it's paid or free, but it's going to be downloadable content for that game in the future. So there's DLC for New Super Mario Bros. U. And the last thing, which I really have to kind of head up, is I really only had two disappointments at that show. One's only a semi-disappointment, which is Madden 13. What's so disappointing about it is that compared to all the other games there, the graphics are just awful. Like, it really did look like they took a Wii game and up-resed it. It's bad. Like, it looks like Xbox 360 running on 480p. It was just terrible. It actually looked better on the 480p screen on the gamepad than it did on the TV. It was just bad, but it played so good. I loved the play calling, waltz going on. I could adjust anytime. It played like a dream, but just the graphics were so terrible, and I'm really conflicted. I don't know if I should rent the game. I'm probably gonna wait and get it cheap, and I just hope that actually the game sells well because if it does and that convinces EA to have that amazing playability they had with the Wii U game, but to have the graphics more look like what they are like now, that would be great. And my real only disappointment, and it's so sad for me to say this, is the Skylanders Giants for Wii U. It's nothing about the game itself. The game looks gorgeous. It looks the exact same on 360, PS3, and PC. It looks really good. The problem, and they had a problem with this with journalists. Everyone that sat down, including me, said the pad has near field communication, right? And they're like, yes. And I was like, but you're still using the portal of power on the game. And they're like, yes. And we're all like, why? And they did some BS answer of like, well, we really like the hardware in it, and we didn't want latencies between all the stuff, and so that's our custom tech, so that we can guarantee, the quality. And I'm like, but I've seen the Wii spec sheet they showed in the press kit, and the NFC chip in the Wii U gamepad is 3 times faster than the NFC chip you have in the portal of power. And then quickly moved on to the gameplay. And the gameplay was really fun, but basically, from what I think Activision's thinking with that game is the Portal of Power is another piece of plastic that can up the charge for like $10, $20 on their game. And it's just so sad to be seeing like a kind of a Guitar Hero sort of read on that. I'm actually hoping that people online, after knowing this, will really complain to Activision of not using the NFC on the Wii U gamepad just because they want to sell a few extra bucks. So hopefully the next version of Skylanders will actually use the pad, because if they did use the pad, that would be my de facto version of the game that I would totally get at launch. And sadly, because of that, I'm probably just going to get the 3DS one, which is done by my friends at N Space. They made the amazing Heroes of Ruin game, which I clocked over 50 hours at. I have screenshots to prove it. And I can't wait to see what they do with that. So I'll probably get the 3DS one, probably skip the Wii U one. I know it's sad, but it just really bummed me out there. Anyhow, all the other games were excellent, especially after finding out the day one stuff. I'm getting that new HD TV, that Wii U, and 5 launch games. My 5 launch, and by the way, I also played Assassin's Creed 3. The naval ship battle was amazing. Completely different demo from the E3 naval ship battle, and you could actually board the ship and kill the captain. That was really neat. My launch games are probably going to be Assassin's Creed 3, Zombie U, Rayman Legends, Rayman. I can't believe I have 3 Ubisoft games at launch that look fabulous. So that's just bizarre. And then Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and probably Sonic All-Star Racing Transform. Probably wait for the Nintendo stuff for Christmas. But if something weird happens with Sonic, then I'll probably get New Super Mario U, because I'm already getting the deluxe edition, so I already come with Nintendo. So that's my Nintendo game. Anyhow, I'm really impressed with it, especially the Bayonetta 2 announcement, and the wonderful 101 as a huge Clover Studios and Platinum Games fan who's owned Okami and Beautiful Joe 1 and 2 and all of that. And Mad World. Mad World's a big thing for me. I have a lot of people have jackets. This could be more than, you know, I don't know how it'd feel if Nintendo ever bought them out, but I mean, like, wow. Like, between them and Retro, I can't wait, and I can't wait to hear Wii U news features. Anyhow, that was my summary of the Wii U press conference. I'm really hyped. not just as a Nintendo fan, but as a gamer. Like, unless Microsoft Sony really pull something out of their butt with the Durango and the PlayStation 4, which is rumored to be called actually now the PlayStation Omni, formerly Orbis. I can't see myself really owning those two consoles. So I'm really excited. And this is someone who owns all the Sega systems, ending with the Dreamcast, and I owned an Xbox and didn't own a PlayStation 2 or a GameCube until Resident Evil 4 came out. So I'm really hyped up. I can't wait for November 18th. I apologize once again for Twitch TV. That we will be using that in the future, and hopefully it'll work then. And I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope you learned some things you didn't learn before. And keep paying attention to Streetcast NYC because between the Wii U launch and the Zelda Symphony and New York Comic Con and Halloween and all the amazing games like Paper Mario Sticker Star and Skylanders Giants and Code of Princess and things like that. We have a lot of fun stuff for New Yorkers coming up in the end of the year. Awesome. So see you around.